And hello, welcome to solo playthroughs. Man, this video has been a long time in coming. I backed the Kickstarter for Cloudspire and Too Many Bones, so the latest Chip Theory games when they had the Horizon's Wrath expansion to Cloudspire, and I took the plunge. I went pretty hard, definitely the most I've ever been in on a Kickstarter. Picked up Cloudspire, all gameplay components there, and I picked up both Too Many Bones as well as Undertow, and obviously had to go for the premium chips based on, I don't know, every single thread I looked at. So all I have right now is Too Many Bones and Undertow. I will likely get deeper into this game as we go because yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's wacky, it's zany, it's got a lot of strategy, it's just fun, and you have to approach it to have fun. It's it doesn't always feel the most balanced, but in a way that actually adds to the balance that is there. I mean, it is a dice rolling game. You can get bad rolls, you can get super unlucky, crazy things can happen, you can get knocked out before you have a turn, but you can also, I don't know, one shot a Tyrant, which is like what I did the first time I ever played this guy solo. Granted, I made some, I found out later, I made some rules mistakes, so that whole win was rather illegitimate. But one-shotting a Tyrant felt pretty cool at the time. I was like, I'm assuming this isn't going to be so easy in the future. And sure enough, it is not. So look, normal caveats for me. When I get a new game on the channel, it's always it's a judgment call. Do I think that I've learned enough of the game, that I've mastered enough? A mastery of any of these games at this complexity level is kind of illusory, right? But it's that goal, right? It's what keeps us coming back to these games and trying to get better and better and better and improve our win rates, etc. Have I mastered it enough that I feel like I have something to offer? I think I'm there with this game. I thought about doing a different Tyrant other than our boy Nom here, but just felt like, you know what, let's go with the shorter game. Let's get the most basic mechanics shown, and then all y'all are going to do what you always do and tell me what I did wrong in the comments anyway, right? So that's how this works. So, and please, if I'm messing up a rule, small or big, I expected it would be small. If it is something I'm still messing up with this game, please let me know. And as I say, just always check my comments about a week after. If you're watching this soon after publication, I really appreciate that. That's the YouTube values that more than anything. But if you're watching this soon after publication, come back in a week, check the comments, make sure there's not additional rule stuff that I want you to be aware of. It's really important to me that I represent the games well, that I do justice to the publishers and the designers, and make sure that their game is presented the way it was intended to be played. And that's it. But on top of that, the biggest goal is to have fun, right? And this game brings that in spades. It is unbelievable. Just the charm. There's a charm to this game, and a whimsical nature of the Gearlocks, and a whimsical nature of even the battles and the enemies, the baddies. I mean, they're called baddies. I mean, it's like, you're going to play a game and you're going to play some baddies. Like, what am I for? But no, it's great. It just works. I love this game. I love how different all the characters are. And Boomer stole my heart early. Boomer was the first Gearloc I dove into in any real sense. And I had to go to her for this, right? Because I'm going to stick with her. I think she's super fun and will be a nice introduction of Too Many Bones onto solo playthroughs. So here we go. Let's get some setup. So you'll see what I have here. We have the battle mat. We have the die for the initiative meter. I got some chips up here, which basically this will relate to initiative and related dies that go there. We have Nom's character card. Now, who is this Tyrant of Nom? Well, before that, who the heck is Boomer? Well, Boomer is a Gearloc, if you don't know. You probably know if you're watching this, but if you don't know, she's a Gearloc. She lives in a land called Daelore, and there's some Tyrants that are just up to no good. They started making trouble in the Daelore neighborhood, right? So Boomer is going out, and she's going to do a series of things to level up, to learn the ways of the baddies that are working with that Tyrant, and then she's gonna find that Tyrant and she's gonna throw a grenade at him. For real. I mean, you can't make it up. I guess that's not entirely true, because the guys who work at Chip Theory Games did make it up, and it's amazing. So let's go with the narrative text here. So, little story time with Greg. Trolls as a species are not so smart. Nom, the Troll Chieftain of the Shellfist region, is no exception. However, no one has ever felt the need to point that out to Nom due to obvious reasons like size differentials and thunder clubs. It could also be because Nom loves to imprison those that anger him and then face off against his prey in a caged battle one by one. Dun, dun, dun. Now look, in the bottom left corner of Nom, you have 3 different colored circles here. There are 6 different baddie types. Within each of those types, most of them, not all of them, some of them don't have all of each type, but most of them you have subtypes of 1-point baddies, 5-point baddies, 5-point baddies, and then 20-point baddies, right? In these 3 types, though, only the teal, like that tealish figure there, only has the 20-point. I don't know the exact names of all of them. I'm sure someone can put that in the comments. But the red are a lot of, I guess the blue are a lot of orcs. The red are like kind of different assorted creatures. And then the green are, I don't know. We'll talk about the character names as they come out. So we have the 220 baddies. So I'm just going to shuffle these up. And I've already mixed all them up. So you mix them up not by the type, not by the red, the blue, or the teal. You mix them up by the value, the 1, the 5, or the 20. So these are already pretty well mixed from a practice game I played off camera. I'll shuffle these a little bit more. And yes, I have some ability to shuffle chips. I might have spent a fair amount of time in the poker world back in the day. So that's a thing, learning more about solo playthroughs. So these chips are fairly hard to shuffle. So you're not going to see me going into a 20 stack, but we'll do some 4 and 5 stacks here. So these are the 1-point chips, and we'll get to these baddies as we go. We're going to flip these over, kind of shuffle these in, and go from there. Now, the other information that you see on Nom's card, well, first it says game length in the bottom right. So this is the shortest game length of all of the Tyrants that come with the base game. And there are 2 numbers to the right there. The top is the number 6 in a gear. That is how many points, progress points, that we need to gather before that we are going to have the option to choose to battle Nom. All right, so we need to get up to 6. 8 is the number of days. We have to get up to 6 and defeat Nom within 8 days. Otherwise, we are big, fat Gearloc losers. And who wants to be a fat Gearloc loser? Nobody. All right, let me make sure this comes on the board. All right, so we got our 1s, 5s, 20s, golden. All right, so we're going to put Nom's card back up here. He's there, and we have every Tyrant has a special die, and you can tell which it is based on, well, 2 ways. You can look at the icons on the back, find the die with those icons, the Tyrant die, or just you can look at the colors. They are color coordinated. So Nom has a red chip, so we have the red die, and he'll just kind of chill there and be leer at us for most of this game unless we get his Tyrant encounter, which will mess with us. So Nom has 1 Tyrant encounter, and that's going to be shuffled into our encounter deck. In a solo game, you have 12 solo encounter cards. At least that's what come in the base set. I'm assuming there are more that come with some of the expansions, but again, I'm not 100% familiar with all the expansion content. I know there's an expansion called 40 Days of Daelore, which I am looking to pick up whenever it becomes available again. So we're going to take these cards, and we're going to take a number of these that is equal to the number of days in this little scenario campaign thing that we're doing, -3. So it's 8 days. We're going to take 5 of these off the top. Into that, we're going to mix in the Tyrant encounter. Again, if there was more than 1 Tyrant encounter, you would mix them all in. There's only 1 with Nom. So we're going to have 6 cards here, and you can't see my face, but I'm just not looking. And then on top of this, we're going to add 1, 2, and 3, these special encounters. And you know that they're 1, 2, and 3 based on these numbers in the bottom right. So these are in the set order to kind of help the Gearlocks get into the adventure. Now, you can know what's coming up. They do give you this encounter cover card, which I'll use. It is what it is. I don't know how much of an advantage it is to know what's coming up, at least if you're me still kind of learning some of the nuance and ins and outs of this game. But now we have our encounter deck. Additionally, around the board, we have these 4 dice, which will be used with Boomer. They are specific to, they're yellow. All the yellow dice are Boomers. Now, they might have different color faces, right? We have the yellow with the red face. We have the yellow with the blue face, the yellow with the orange face, yellow with the yellow face. They're all Boomers, right? If it's a yellow die, whatever the color of the face is, it's all Boomers. It's all Boomers dice, right? We have this D6, which is like an orange, like clear thing. So that's there. These dice will be there to help augment Boomer's basic stats. What are the 4 basic stats? Well, we have health, we have dexterity, we have attack, we have defense. Attack, the number next to attack indicates how many attack dice you can roll. These are the attack dice, these white ones with the swords on it, and then there's a bone. on I think one of the 6 sides. And then you have the defense. You can Boomer, how she starts the game, she can roll one attack die, I should say, and if she manages to upgrade that using her points, what do they call those points? The training points, then she can decide to she can do a certain test. If she passes it, she can upgrade the attack, and she can now roll 2 attack die on every turn. The defense value is how many defense die she can roll. Now, the defense die are the white die with the orangey yellow face. Now, 1/3 of the faces on that die, so 2 of those faces have bones. The rest give you defense values. If you roll a defense value, you can put it in your active slots. You have 3 active slots when you're playing as Boomer, and then that could actually, obviously, will protect you from attacks that come in from the baddies. So we'll put some defense dice over here. We have the health value. The health value is how many chips Boomer starts with. So I have the premium health chips, put them under Boomer. And then you have the dexterity. That is how many dice that Boomer can roll in a turn. Now, if you have, her defense value is 2, but if she has an active defense die, she cannot roll 2 more defense die. This will go against her value for defense. Now, she can still roll 3 dice. It doesn't go against her dexterity necessarily. So if she has 3 other dice that she wants to roll, that's great. However, if she wants to roll 3 dice and she doesn't have 3 other dice to roll, and she needs to use 2 defense die to do it, you can take this out of your active slot before you roll and then just decide to roll it. But you know, there's some strategy that comes with that. There are times where you actually want bones. You're like, you know what? I don't want the 2 shield. I really want to try to get a bone, because bones do cool things. So if you roll attack dice and defense die and you get a bone, you can put bone in your backup plan. Now, attack or defense die that are in your backup plan do not count against your attack or your defense value the same way anything in your active slot does, right? The same way the defense die in your active slot does. And as you get bones here, once per turn, you can spend a certain number of bones to do something on your backup plan. Well, what's her backup plan? So her backup plan, if she spends 1 bone, she gets to do 1 damage to her target. If she does, and you always have to choose a target, and we'll kind of talk about that as we play. If she discards 2 bones on her turn, she can reroll any unused scavenger die that was rolled this turn. We'll explain what the scavenger dies do in a second. If she rolls 3 bones, if she removes 3 bones, she can select any occupied position, and she can take her target and move it to an adjacent position of Boomer's choice. So you can move, she does ranged attacks, right? So she can say, I don't want, the enemy that I attacked there, that's my target. I'm going to take 3 bones and move them, right? So that's one idea. But generally, if you're waiting for 3 bones, you're probably going to want to wait to 4 bones, which you can hit your target for 3 damage. And 5 bones, you can hide. You can become untargetable for a round, which can be really important. And then 6 bones, you get to upgrade to innate 1. Well, what's Boomer's innate? Her innate is that she's a scavenger. So unlike a lot of the Gearlocks, Boomer starts with 4 of her 16 awesome dice. These skill dice. She starts with 4 of them in play. 3 of them start in, these are her scavenger dice, all the green. So every character has different professions, things that they're good at. So Boomer is a grenadier, she's a scavenger, she's a utility bomber, and she has this keen eye profession, right? So as you add dice, you're kind of adding them. They just have different roles and different things that they do, right? The Grenadier is obviously something related to grenades. You're causing damage. The Utility Bomber is like kind of more of like these tangential aspects of being really good in combat. The Keen Eye are just, these are consumable dice, and we'll kind of, no, I'm sorry. No, the Keen Eye is the ones down here. The consumable dice there's 2 dice that are consumable dice, so they actually aren't related to a profession. These are things that we can train in. They have some kind of, they can make things better. So they can make, so it's keen eye. So it can make her better at scavenging. If you have the body search die, the bigger moon can make her better at blowing things up. And then a search for 325. We're probably not getting up to that this game. I don't think it's long enough to really, I haven't found a way against Nom to really try to develop this too much. You're probably not gonna have the time to really, bling Boomer all the way out and kind of see the extent of what she can actually do. But you'll see her do some pretty cool things, especially in light of where she starts. All right. So what's the innate? So if you spend 6 bones, you get to flip her to innate +1. Well, Boomer's innate is she starts with these 3 scavenger dice. And what that means is she's going to roll these dice. Now, these do count against her dexterity. And when she rolls these dice, she's looking for values. So I rolled a 3. You can slot those in your locked area. If I rolled a bones, I could choose, do I want to put it on my backup plan, or do I want to put it back into, that area and then roll it again the next turn, right? It depends. Now, if I ever have one, at least one of each of these three things, so if I have all the three of these things, so one's element, two is casing, three is fuse, I could basically become counters when they're in the locked area. I can reduce this down to a 0, which would exhaust it. I would reduce this 2 down to this 3 down to a 2, reduce this 2 down to a 1, and I get myself a bomb. Whee! Now, what do I use bombs for? Well, if I ever have a skill in either the red area or the blue area, I could basically say I'm going to throw a grenade or a smoke screen or a sonic cleanse or a flashbang. I would reduce this down by 0. If it was at 2, I reduce it down to 1, and then I would roll that die as part of my action. A lot of the Gearlocks, when you use a skill from the skill area, it's just like the scavenging dice, where I can decide, I want to roll better next time, I'm not going to use it. When you decide to use any of the skills in either the Grenadier or the Scavenger, the Grenadier or the Utility Bomber skill sets, you use them, you're stuck with whatever the result is. And that can be really rough because, you know, the frag dies, which is one you'll almost guaranteed see in this playthrough. It has 3 damage, 3 damage, 4 damage, oh, bone, and you have to use it. It's really rough. Now, you can put it in your backup plan, but it ain't great. That's not what you want the frag for. You want the frag to do damage, especially if you're using up one of your valuable counters, right? So that's kind of something to be aware of. And if you roll that, often that means you're probably not winning that battle. Not always. It just depends how you build the character and how lucky you can get with the rest of your dice, right? So I'm yammering away. What's one other die I haven't mentioned is Boomer. Just like the monsters, their baddies, I should say, have their little initiative dies, any dies as the rule book calls it. We have Boomer's die, which basically you're going to roll it. You'll see where she is in initiative order relative to the baddies, and then we'll carry her out. Now, rulebook calls it the any die. Let me talk about this rulebook for a second. I read a lot of rulebooks, and I usually learn a game by getting a really good idea of the game just by reading the rulebook cover to cover, every line, and I'm like, all right, I understand it. I don't understand the nooks and crannies. I'm going to have to look at the rulebook again. I'm going to have to look things up. I know I'm going to become really good at figuring out how to Google these things and finding the Reddit threads or the Board Game Geek threads or whatever. I read 15 pages of this rulebook, and I guarantee, I kid you not, I had no idea what was going on. To the point that I texted a friend of mine who I know has played this game and who loves this game, and I was like, dude, I am so lost. And that was weird because I read the Cloudspire rulebook first. I really thought I was going to get the Cloudspire on this channel long before I got the Too Many Bones. The Cloudspire rulebook is great. I understood it. We're good. Like, I have to play it. That's fine. But at least I get the main idea. There's rounds and blah, blah, blah. Minions. Yeah, good. Done. This, I was like, I literally had no conception. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see what was happening. I couldn't see how it played out. To the extent that I've actually said to some friends that there is no greater discrepancy that I can think of actual difficulty of play compared to the difficulty of play, just that the sense of difficulty of play I got from the rulebook as this game. The rulebook, I was like, I cannot parse this game. I cannot understand the rules. I don't understand what's happening. This is crazy. And then I'm playing and I'm like, oh, okay. It's really kind of accessible, and I understand, like, I've heard that from a lot of people, and the playthroughs are really important, and I know there's a ton of content for this game out there. I play the games that I like, and I'm intrigued by, you know, we'll see where this goes with this community, and hopefully, you know, hopefully, I don't know, hopefully we can have some fun with this together, and we'll go from there, right? So, that is my one thing about this game. The rulebook's rough. So if you haven't gotten this game yet and you want to learn, I would not recommend reading the rulebook. I would find a friend who knows what's going on, or I'd watch a playthrough and then read the rulebook, because it's really, really, really accessible once you kind of get it, get the rhythm, get what's going on. The rulebook uses a lot of acronyms, which is annoying because it doesn't have a chart. It doesn't have a place where you can go that like defines all the acronyms. It uses a lot of it just makes a lot of assumptions that, like, don't use a bunch of acronyms. Stop trying to be cute and tell me, like, what the heck is going on. There's no real chart of symbols beyond what you have for like, yeah, you have like the sheets for the different the Gearlocks. I get it, but there needs to be like the reference, like a reference manual that is just more helpful, that's more accessible, that really spells some things out in ABC without requiring me to look up all the friggin' chip theory games YouTube video. There's like games within this game that like have 5-minute explanations on YouTube that you can go and watch, because sometimes it's really impossible to parse the language that they put in the rulebook here. So it is what it is. I assure you, it's a small gripe in the sense of like how much enjoyment this game has given me now, but the learning curve in this game just felt decidedly steeper than it needed to be, considering what this game really is at its core. And I hope that you know, obviously it hasn't hurt this game that much, because people still freaking rave about this game all over the place, to the point that I was more than happy to jump in the Kickstarter, and I'm more than happy with the product that I've gotten, for sure. So that is that. I will leave that be. Great. So what am I shuffling now? So I just shuffled up the loot deck, and then we have the Trove loot deck. The loot deck, the loot tends to be better than the Trove loot deck. The loot tends to be better than the loot deck, but the Trove loot deck, it's not like you get the loot and you have it. You get the loot, and then you have to the loot, and then you have to figure out how to pick the lock. Lock picking, yes, that is a whole other mechanic which we will get to. But first, I think we should just start on our merry way. I mean, there's like no story time with Greg for Boomer, is there? Is there a story time with Greg here? No, he's got such a cute little bum on him. What? Like, no, Boomer's, that's weird. Boomer, throw first, talk later. Boomer is an incredible asset in the party's overall damage output. With hard hits that hurt multiple baddies, as well as some very useful crowd control, Boomer can easily level enemy lines if she manages her grenades well. Nice. Very cool. So, let's get started. We go Too Many Bones, a dice builder RPG encounter cover card adventure thing, whatever. All right, special encounter. Day 1. Leaving Ubanda. Only 12 hours till dawn, and the send-off ceremony that will no doubt change the lives of every remaining Gearloc and likely every life in Daelore. Weapons and supplies are ready to go, but the night is young and adrenaline fills the veins. It's clear no sleep will be had tonight. There's sure to be some shady peddlers in dark alleys ready to deal in loot. Then again, some last-minute training could pay a nice dividend by morning. So what to do? What to do? We have two options here, kids. We can squeeze in some last-minute self-improvement, or we can shake down a shady peddler. And then you can look at the whole card and decide what you want to do. If we do the top option, we would get 2 training points to spend on wealth training. If we do the bottom option, we get to do 1 training point, and then each Gearloc in the party may draw a loot and choose to keep 1. So we draw 2 loot and choose to keep 1. Loot can be really helpful. Training's really important. What do we want to do? I'm not really sure, so I'm just going to randomize this because I've done it both ways. And how much do I want loot? No, I'm not going to randomize this. No way. I'm going to do the health. So 3 health is not a lot for these Gearlocks. So I will take health. So I'm going to do the top option. So I'm going to add this die here. So my health is now 3 + 1. So I added a chip as well as a die there. So now my health is again the 3 + 1. And I'm going to try to train my attack with this training point. Well, let me try to do the attack first. I'm going to try to train the attack. Then when you're trying to train the attack, you have to roll the number of attack dice that you already have access to. So right now it'd be 1. If I had this, I'd have to roll 2. And I have to make sure I don't roll the bones. If I don't roll the bones, then my training was successful. If I roll the bones, then I could use that point on something else, but I cannot use that point on that attack. So I'm going to roll that. Did I roll the bones? No. So good. I trained in my attack. I'm going to use the other training point on the health like I expected to initially. Now I have 4 health, and that is that. Now, that does count. That was a successful day, kids. So we got 1 day. I'm going to use a die up here to track our progress. So we have 1. Once we get to 6, then we could choose. We don't have to. We can choose to fight Nom. Now remember, we have to get the 6 to fight Nom, as I just said, but we only have 8 days to do it. So a lost day where we don't get any of those symbols is rough. It can really put you behind the 8 ball. So we got our rewards for this successful encounter, and now what? So if we go up here, so there's the adventure routine. So there was a new day, which we did. We're at day 1, new day, right? We draw the encounter, we did that, we got the rewards. Now the rewards, there's often rewards at the bottom as well as up in here. So we're just gonna get these rewards that are up in this on this side because that was a choice we made. Had we done this, we got that reward, and then obviously whatever is written in a what is that, purplish brown there, and we would get that as well. So we've done the reward part. So now we go up to the recovery phase. Now the recovery phase has 3 parts. The first part is that you can trade any loot. If you want to trade loot with another gearloc that you're playing with, etc. Look, let me kind of go through this right now. Yes, I'm playing this true solo, and I know that someone's gonna tell me that I need to play this with multiple gearlocs. Just like people tell me that I need to play Spirit Island with multiple spirits, and people tell me I need to play Arkham with multiple investigators, and I get it, and I appreciate the concern, and I love how people are so passionate about their games. I like playing true solo when I can. I will probably play this with 2 Gearlocks at some point. A multi-handed solo, that's fine. It's just not my preference. And that's really cool that people just love to see the synergies and this and that. I play a lot co-op with my friends, so I think that for me, my solo gaming experiences, I want them to be shorter. I want them to be a little bit more straightforward. I find this more engaging. I find this more thematic. I find this more just fun for me, and less to manage and less room to make mistakes that I'm going to be like, oh, I made that mistake. Again, someone's still going to write how I should play this game too solo, and I get it. There's some nerfing that happens with the tyrants that I don't totally love how much nerfing happens. Like from a balancing standpoint, it makes some sense. So all I have to say is, yes, I should play this with more than one gearloc, maybe sometimes sort of down the road when I know this game more and I've experienced all the gearlocks and I've taken these gearloc to its the max that I feel like I can take them. And that's kind of where the fun of this game is for me. I will play this co-op a lot off camera, and that's great for me too. So it just is what it is. And I always say, because every time I have one of these conversations, I feel like I need to have a caveat that 99% of the comments I get on my videos are just awesome, and people are great, and they're encouraging, and they're so cool, and there's just always that there's just always a few that are just like, dude, like, if you don't want to watch someone play this game true solo, like, I'm not the guy for you. I'm just not. I'm really sorry about that. So it is what it is. All right. That said, back to the regularly scheduled program. So let's go to the recovery phase. What are the 3 phases of a recovery phase? Well, 1, if we were playing with all the gearlocks, we could trade loot with them. 2, if we had a trove loot, we could do a lock picking attempt. We don't have any trove loot. So 3, we can do one of 3 different things for our individual options. We can rest and recover, which we can get back up to our max hit points. Well, we haven't taken a hit yet, so we are clearly already at our max hit points. We can search for better loot. If we had loot, we can discard that. We can roll 6 attack dice, and for each bones we roll, we could take 1 loot card, and we could choose to keep 1. So I would take 1 and be forced to keep that 1 because I roll really good. I mean, I guess that's right. You're rolling 6 attack dice. You're going to average. I mean, average over the long haul, you're rolling 1 bone. So that's 0 bones. That's 0 bones. Yeah, we're good. So scout the area. What I will choose to do, is the only option that makes sense, is I'm going to roll this d6. I rolled a 6. That means that I scout a 20-point baddie. Oh, reveal up to a 20-point baddie. Oh, that's even better. All right. Yeah, revealing a 20-point baddie in a solo game is a waste of time. I never actually saw the up to before. I'm going to reveal a 5-point baddie. See what's there. Cool. What do we have? It is a Troll Enforcer, thick-skin 1 with taunt, rolling 3 attack dice, 2 defend dice. It is doing a melee attack. I don't really hate that dude. He's got really low initiative. You can do far, far worse. I like melee enemies more than ranged enemies. So now that I've scouted the area, I'm going to reveal him and just keep him face up on that stack of 5-point baddies. Great. Now we go to day 2. I'm going to put this over here. We're going to move our day counter to 2, and we're going to pull a card. And what do we get? Hardly out the gate, 15 steps into the journey, 15 steps, and already a gearloc boot is struck through by an arrow. Luckily, no toes were killed. Teeth are clenched and a painful tug is made while looking around in embarrassment. Yow! Now sufficiently ticked, it's time to return the favor to the ominous figures at the edge of the woods. A commotion breaks out atop the city wall, interrupting all thoughts. Guards have now spotted the brazen intruders and are notching their arrows. Their help is at the ready. Like it or not, this adventure is underway! All right, cool. What do we got? So, we can ask the guards for help, and we ain't doing that. We're going to do, it's time to show Obendar what gearlocks are made of. With Obendar watching, you feel an extra shot of adrenaline as you prepare for an unassisted battle. Battle queue is baddie points. After either choice, if we lose the battle, this goes back on top of the encounter deck. Now, it still counts as a day. It just means we have to do this again next time. So we basically keep doing this until we win, which is rough. Again, we only have 8 days where we have to get to Nom and defeat him. So if we lose this, again, losing a whole day early is not the greatest idea. And especially the next time, the battle queue, this time, what is battle queue? Well, baddie points is the day it is times the number of gearlocks. So 2 times 1 is 2. Advanced math for all you kids, folks. Who said there would be a lesson breaking out today? But here we are teaching some math. So we're going to take these 2 dudes, and because again the baddie points, so it's 2, so we could take 2 ones. Now if the battle queue was 5, we would take this. If it was 6, we take this and this, and on the bigger baddies go on top unless the instructions say otherwise, etc, 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 etc. Great. So the battle queue is 2. What do we got? Well, we have an orc scout. All right, the orc scout is attacking with 1. He has rating, and he has a ranged attack. He is going to have 3 health. We'll go through all these numbers, right? So in the top left, he has 3 health. We're also going to give him this. What is this? Well, this is the lane marker to show where he initially was spawned. And then at the top right, well, he's only attacking with 1 die. So he's going to do 1 attack die every turn, and whatever it is, that's how much damage he's doing. What's that rating skill? Well, the rating skill means that if this is another orc, instead of him rolling 1 die, he's going to roll 2, which for a ranged attack like that, it's a little rough. So what's the next guy we got? Well, we have a dire wolf pup. The dire wolf pup is not an orc, so the rating dude's only rolling 1 attack die. The dire wolf pup is also only rolling 1 attack die. The dire wolf pup comes into play with 3 health. He's going to come into lane 2. First guy on lane 1, second guy on lane 2. Crazy advanced stuff happening here, and that's fine. So what are the other numbers? So we talked about the health. They both have 3 health. We talked about the lanes, and we didn't talk about his skill. So lashback 1. If you are adjacent to the dire wolf pup and you attack him and you deal damage to him, at the end of the turn, if he's still alive, he's going to whack you back for 1. But you have to be adjacent. So as doing a ranged attack, lashback becomes less of an issue with someone like Boomer than with some of the other gearlocks, assuming that you're using dexterity to move around the board well to kind of get away, and we'll kind of talk about that as we go. Great. So what's this other number over here? Well, 4. The orc scout's going to have initiative of a 4, and the dire wolf pup's going to have an initiative of a 3. I'm going to roll the initiative die for Boomer. Now, her initiative die has a 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, and a 6. So if I roll a 4 or higher, we're going to be at top. So 2/3 of the time, we're going to be at the top part of the initiative, which is exactly where you want to be because it's just better. Trust me, it's a lot better. So we'll see if I can pull that off. I rolled a 2. No, we're not at the top spot. We are 1 out of 6 to be in the bottom, and there we are. If I rolled a 3, we would have the initiative for Gearlocks is ahead of the initiative for baddies. But again, we are stuck at the bottom. So where am I going to start on this map? Well, I have to go into one of these ranged circles, right? Because I do ranged attacks. I can't be in a melee circle. I have to be in a ranged circle. Here we are. How does movement work in this thing? Well, I can use my dexterity. So again, dexterity is I can roll that many dice in a turn. Alternatively, I can use some or all of that dexterity if I wanted to move. So if I move 2, I can roll 1 die. If I move 1, I can roll 2 die. If I move 3, I get to roll 0 die. That's about it. The baddies always move 2, and they always move toward their target if they have one. If you have 2 baddies here and here, and I have a 3rd baddie who has a melee attack here, he wouldn't have a target unless there was another gearlock on the board because there was no way to get to me, so they just wouldn't move at all. All right, that's that. Everything's good, and let the games begin. So the orc scout's attacking me with what? Attacking me with 1 die because his rating skill is useless this round because we have a pup, not another orc. He rolls a bones. He missed me. That's right. All right, the dire wolf pup's gonna move here, and now what are we gonna do? Well, I can roll 3 dice. I know this dude's going to kind of get in my face in a second. I think it's worth trying to knock out the orc scout, right? Because he's doing that 1 die from no matter where I am every turn. So I'm going to roll my 2 attack value, right? Because I leveled that up to start on day 1. And I'm going to roll 1 of my defense die. So I still have 2 potential, but I'm just going to roll a 1. So I could roll 2 defense die and attack die. I could roll all 3 of my scavenging dice, but that would make no sense. So I'm going to roll these 3 dice, my 2 attack, and I'm targeting the Orc Scout. What do we get? All right, well, we get 3 attack with those 2. So that's a 2, that's a 1, and then we get a bones. I'm going to put the bones in the backup plan, and that 3 attack is enough to defeat the Orc Scout. He fought valiantly, kids, but he is no more. That goes there, and he goes into defeated baddie queue, which we will put right next to the stack of 1s. Not baddie queue, a defeated baddie stack, and he goes right there. If you don't defeat a baddie, they actually get face down at the bottom of a stack, but we should be able to defeat both this guy now next turn pretty easily. But so the one thing about that roll is we did not get any defense, but we should be okay anyway. That's the end of the round. We go to round 2. The pup's gonna move, get in my face. He's attacking. He's attacking with 1 die. I have no defense. He gets 1 damage. I have 3 health left. Now, I could try to kill him now. I want to make better use of this turn. I want to start scavenging and getting some casings and getting some fuses and some elements so I can start making some bombs. All right, so I only have 3 dexterity though, and this dude is on me. So there's not like I can really get away from him, but I can at least defend myself, right? The most he can do in a turn to me damage-wise is just 2, you know, because he's only rolling 1 die. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to milk this battle a little bit more, and I'm going to roll 2 defense die and one of these scavenger dice, and we're going to see what I can roll here. I rolled 3 defense, which is great, and I got 1 for the element, which isn't amazing, but it will do because it wasn't a bones. That's fine. We're going to go to round 3. Dude's going to attack me. He's attacking me with 1 dice, and I just take off my 1 shield, so I still have 2 shield there. I'm going to roll this 1 defense, and I can't roll 2 defense dice unless I take this one out, right? But that would be silly. So I'm going to roll this 1 defense die and these 2 scavenger dice, and we'll see. What do we get? Oh, I got 3. I got 2. I got another shield. What am I going to do? Well, I'm going to exhaust this die. The element goes over here. And I'm going to, because it was at a 1, so it goes to a 0, so it's just exhausted. So I can't roll this again this battle. I mean, once I lock it in there, I can't roll it again this battle anyway, unless I have something that allows me to get it back, which you could with some of the loot and things like that. So I'm going to now turn the casing from a 2 to a 1, and I'm going to turn the fuse from a 3 to a 2. Since I lowered all those by 1, now my boom counter goes up by 1. Look at that. So the boom counter it maxes out at 3, so that's as high as we can get. The dice has 6 sides. It is 0, 1, 2, 3, blank, blank. So we're going to go to a 1. Nice. Now, that was my turn. We go to round 4. How many rounds are there? Well, there's round 4, round 5, and then there's that. What does that mean? Well, at the beginning of every round, that's the fatigue rounds. Every unit on the mat, both you and the baddies, will all take 1 damage. It cannot be blocked. So we want to be careful of that because clearly we do not want to lose since we've been just messing around with this dude for the last couple of rounds. He's attacking me. He's attacking me with 1. What does he get? 1 damage. I just take the shield off. And now, since we have no more scavenger dice to roll, we might as well try to finish this dude off. I know I have that bones, which I can throw at any time to knock this dude out. Remember, if I don't get 3 damage on him and he survives, since I am adjacent to him, he will lash back and he will basically try to do damage to me. Now I can use my shield. It's not true damage. True damage you can't block, so defense doesn't matter. But if the lashback, it's not true damage. I would be able to block that with my shield. Yeah, that's totally making sure it's not true damage on our little Gearloc Adventuring reference guide. Notice I do have 2 of those reference guides. This one is from the Undertow game. The front half is exactly the same. There are some differences as far as the encounter terms and the baddie skills, because there's more. Just Undertow, there's some like water skills and stuff like that that kind of needed its own little reference sheet for it. All right, what am I doing here? I am rolling these 2 attack dice, and again remember, this is a defense die in the backup plan. It doesn't work against me with how many defense dice I can roll. This one does. So I can only roll 1 defense die anyway. So I'm going to roll these 3 dice, which is equal to my dexterity. I rolled. What did I get? All right, well, I have 2 attack, and I have this backup plan. I'm going to take one die out of my backup plan, and I'm going to do the skill of throw odds. I'm throwing odds. Now, this is taken out, but it's not like exhausted like this die was. These skill dice are different. This just goes back in like the supply of defense die. That's going to do 1 damage. And then I'm going to use a 2 attack dice. That's 1 damage each. That defeats the direwolf pup. So his lashback does not trigger. And we have won our battle, folks. Look at that. So easy. So easy. We'll reset the any die to 1. And now what happens? Since we won, we get some training points and some other stuff. We get 1 training point from here, 1 training point from the bottom of the card, and then we get to draw a loot. So I'm going to take the loot first. We get Agot Herbs. Heal yourself for 1 hit point in battle. It has 3 uses. So each of the cards, a lot of the cards are just 1 use. If they're 2 use, they have like a sign, you use it that way and then discard it. This one is, you can use it once, you can use it twice, and then you can discard it. So that's a nice little 3 health thing available to us. Now the thing about that is you can only use these on your turn, right? So you do want to be on top of it, make sure you're using them on your turn accordingly if you think there's any chance you're going to get whacked really hard in the next round, right? Or then before it comes back around to your turn. So I'm going to use these 2 training points. I'm going to use 1 training point on my health. So I get that up to a 5. We get this. I'll take that. I'll bring myself back here. And now I want to upgrade my, well, bones come off and the shields come off. And this element die will go back here. The lock dice will stay for the next battle. So the 1 and the 2, and then the boom counter will just be what it is. I'm going to take, I think I up my dexterity. I think that makes the most sense. So we're going to give myself dexterity of 4, and then next time we're going to start getting some of our skills. Frag would be the first place to go, maybe body search. Body search I find tough to work with Nom. By the time it could really get going, it's not as effective as some other things. So we'll kind of see how that works out. But that is done, and now we go to the recovery phase. So not trading loot, I'm not making a lockpicking attempt. What am I doing? I rest and recover. Well, I would get 1 health to get up to full. Do I really want to scout? Nah. I'll take that 1 health could matter. I'm going to take the 1 health. Get up to full. That's fine. Might not be exactly the right decision, but it feels good for me. So we're going to do that. We're going to go to day 3. Dun, dun, dun. So what is this? Again, the last of the specially placed encounters that go on top. And then so again, we have the five encounters, the Tyrant encounters in there, and then we have the 3 special encounters put right on top. So crossing the Sabron. The Sabron River, a glistening vein of trade running the length of Daelore, playfully beckons as it shimmers in the daylight up ahead. But with so few bridges in these parts, this crossing is an obvious spot for enemy scouts and traps. A journey of this importance leaves only 2 options. Tucking the ears and trying to blend in is risky but efficient. A boat at dusk carries less chance of discovery, but requires business with the Molnar, a trading syndicate with their own set of drawbacks. So we're going to try to fit in or take a boat at dusk. Tuck your ears and walk like a commoner gives us another, we get this at another point there. Sorry, don't forget that. So we're up to 2 out of the 6 that we need. So we can we would get another day there, or we can hire the Molnar and we could pull a trove loot. To be quite honest, I think that extra day when you're up against Nom, I mean, if things go bad, you just really got to I like to try to fight Nom at day 7, so I have another day just in case things don't go well. So I really value that extra point. It is what it is. So what's going to happen? So we're tucking our ears and walking like a commoner. So we're going to see if we can fit in. And so we're going to roll a d6. If I roll a 1 or a 2, we're spotted. And that's bad. If I roll a 3, 4, 5, or 6, we are good. And we are a success either way. So I rolled a 1. We're spotted because I rolled good. So awesome. So great. So what happens? So I'm going to take the Tyrant encounter card and put it to the top. It says to shuffle the other cards. Honestly, I don't know. I can't read that fast, man. It is what it is. I have no idea what else is there except for the Tyrant encounter card is on the top, which is super awesome. But what do I get? I get another training point. I'm sorry. Yeah, we get another training point and we get 2 more days toward our goal. So we're up to 4. And so we're only 2 away, and we're going to take a training point. I want to take a training point. What am I going to take? I'm going to take myself a frag. Yeah. Nah. I'm going to take myself a health because I know what's about to happen, and it's not great. So yeah, I'm up to 6 health. Health is huge. I'll get that frag in a second. All right, so we're going to day 4. All right, day 4 is what? Well, we just put the Tyrant encounter there. Unfortunately, it is the problem with thick skin. And there he stands the size of a gearloc hut, right in the middle of the path. Nom, the Troll Chieftain, and his cronies are clearly unafraid of leaving the safety of their lair. They are thirsty for blood, and this battle feels premature. That's good for Nom, not so good for this side of the battle line. With what feels like zero time to prepare, there's got to be a better way to delay this encounter. Perhaps fighting aggression with aggression would cause Nom to back off. If not, the crack of Nom's Thunderclub will resound throughout Daelore this day. So, this thing doesn't seem so terrifying, so we could fight, but it would be baddie points, which is 4, and 2 more 1-point baddies. So it'd be 6 1-point baddies. Additionally, Nom would be on the thing, and Nom is a giant pain, but he would leave at the end of round 3. Alternatively, we can just back away slowly, okay, quickly, and Nom chases the party throughout the day and night, but we get away from him. Each Gearloc in our party loses 2 hit points and must skip the recovery phase. That's fine, but we'd also get a training point. So, you know, kind of okay with that. So what I'm going to do is do choice. I'm not fighting that. It's just, I mean, you get a loot in another day and all this, but that's just rough. But we shuffle this back in if we choose this option. Just hopefully I don't shuffle it to the top. So we're going to take 2 hit points and I get a trading point. What I'm going to get myself the frag after all. Because I think it could be important because we're going into day 5 and having a big grenade to throw at a 5-point baddie could be very useful. So this goes here. We skip the recovery phase because we chose the end of that, and as it says, we have to shuffle this into the deck. And again, hopefully I'm better than shuffling this on the top. Not looking. All right, cutting what's on top. This is day 5. It is not the Tyrant encounter. It makes me feel better. And what do we got? It is a trap of my own making. Too big and too many. I could never outpower or outrun them. Either this works or my journey ends before the sun sets. The plan? Be my own bait. What could possibly go wrong? The trap is set just as the golden sun is beginning to sink, which I pray helps obscure my hasty work of covering the freshly excavated pit. Now I just need to screech like a wounded griffin, stand in plain sight and hope they don't simply jump over the trap before tearing me limb from limb. So we are battling, kids. It is the same reward either way. If we win this, we get 2 training points and a loot and another day, which would get us to day 5. So we can be the bait. We would have to face 2 5-point baddies. They enter the battle mat. They would roll a d6 for each. If we roll a 3 to a 6, they were stunned for the first 2 rounds, which could be good. But maybe I shouldn't be the bait. We can have 2 5-point baddies. We have surprise, which means we go at the top. If you have surprise, that means we drop all opposing units below us. So we would basically have initiative, which would be huge. And the baddies take 1 true damage for any time they move to a new position on the battle mat. Now, we know that this guy is a melee guy, which is great. So he'll be moving a lot. He takes 1 true damage. That could be useful. It's really helpful for, oh, it's true damage, right? So true damage. So thick skin does not, so this unit we know has thick skin, but it does not ignore true damage. So I just wanted to check that. So basically every time he moves, we know that he would take a damage, which could help kill him. However, if he was stunned, it is what it is. I'll do the latter. Maybe I shouldn't be the bait, so I decided it's best to get in your own trap and fight around the spikes. All right, so basically the idea was I was standing, Boomer's like, oh, I'm gonna jump around, come get me, and then everyone falls in and they fall on spikes, or I just actually got in among the spikes, and now we're fighting these dudes. So the rough thing for me, so this gives me surprise, and I like having the initiative. The rough thing for me is I'm already down to 4 health, because remember that previous encounter made me take 2 damage because I was not in a place where I was looking to fight Nom. I do have a bomb, I do have the frag, so we'll see. So we're gonna put this, we're gonna 2 5-point baddies. I have surprise, so I know I'm at the top of this no matter what. And so this guy's gonna go here. That's where scouting was really helpful there. And what do we get? Oh, that's just awful. We get a dragon delinquent? You gotta be kidding me. All right, so there goes there. Duh. So he has initiative 6. The other dude has initiative 2. Who do you think I'm trying to kill with my first roll? Yeah. Yowza. All right. So the dragon comes in. He has 7 health. He's got weaken 2 if he rolls a bones, and he's got engulf. So that means if he does damage me, any adjacent unit, including itself, would also take that amount of damage. It is a strategy, but it's rough to pull off, especially when I'm sitting here on only 4 health. Right, so like the damage would be dealt not only to me but next, but again, you know, it would trigger like defense abilities and all that other stuff. It's not like true damage or anything like that. So then we have the Troll Enforcer has thick skin and he has taunt. So if he rolls a bones, that means that we have to attack him if we're adjacent. I believe it's only when you're adjacent. Yes. So all adjacent units must attack. Cool. So he comes in with only 5 health, and that's fine. I only have 2 attack dice. I can roll 1 defend dice. Gonna go here. That weaken 2 is bad with the bones, and he's rolling 4 dice that first turn, so he's most likely gonna get it. I think I tried to knock him out, so I'm gonna roll my frag. So I'm gonna target him with my frag. Remember, I have surprise, right? So I mean, there's one argument if I felt lucky and I wanted to roll that 3 or the 6, they'd both be stunned. It'd be really, you know, pretty strong. But, you know, it is what it is. So I'm using this boom counter. It goes down to 0. So I'm rolling the frag die. I'm rolling my 2 attack dice. And again, my dexterity is now 4. I'm going to roll 1 defend die. And we'll see what this does for me. So I'm attacking the Dragon Delinquent. Do not bones my frag die, please. All right, cool. So close, but not quite there. It's great. So we get a bones with our backup plan. He's going to get a bunch of shields. I think we just, oh, this is gross. So I'm going to use that backup plan to deal an extra damage. The frag die does 3 damage, and the 2 attack dice does 2. So I do 6 damage to our friend, the Dragon Delinquent. And he's never moving, don't forget. Oh, wait, including, oh. Wait, baddies take 1 damage anytime they move to a new position on the battlement, including initial position. Oh, he took a damage that way too. That's right. I forgot. I remembered just in time. Yeah, that's huge. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. My voice is cracked, but that was fine. All right, so this dude is out, and we are going to now. We're done with our turn. We have, again, 0 active dice because we had just the bones that we used for the backup plan, and that's totally fine. So the frag die goes in the exhausted dice area, and we still have this loot. Oh, I forgot I could heal myself during battle. Ooh, right. That's nice. I'm not going to use it just yet. Great. So dude is dead. Surprise worked for us. This guy's going to move. Well, dude, you're running around some spikes. What do you expect? That's fine. He is going to roll his 2 defend die, though. So he's going to roll his 2 defend dice. And he rolls a bone, so that just means he has taunt, so we have to target him if we're adjacent with all attacks. Well, who else are we going to target, yo? I mean, come on, man. Come on, taunting me after what I just did to that dragon? You are a joke, sir. Cool, what am I going to do now? So we go to round 2. I'm at the top of the inning meter. I'm going to move 2. I have 2 left in my dexterity, and I'm going to roll this element die, and I'm going to roll a defense die. I get 3 of the elements, defensive 2. I'm going to immediately exhaust this die, lower this to a 1, lower this to a 2, and we get our boom counter back up to 1. We're going to now go with this guy. He's targeting me. He's going to move. He takes the damage. We see this pattern I'm about to embark on. Cool. That goes, that's his turn, and he... Oh, I'm sorry. What happened to his... I think he rolled 2 bones, right? Yeah. So we're going to re-roll his defend dice, and they get both placed on him. I don't know if his defend was higher than that. I saw the bones, and I got excited. So the taunt comes off because he didn't roll any bones. We go to round 3. I think I just let this dude knock himself off, right? I mean, like, what else am I doing? So I'm going to roll the 2 defend dice and an attack die. No. I'm going to roll 1 defend die and 1 attack die. I have a defend die there, so I can't roll 2 unless I want to take that out, which I don't. So I'm going to move 2. I roll these 2 dice. I get 2 more shield. I attack 1. That knocks one of the shields off. He's going to go. He moves there. He takes a damage. We go to round 4. I'm going to move 2. I'm going to roll these 2 attack dice. I'm going to knock off... Oh, he should have rolled another defense die. He rolled the bones. He gets taunt. That's fine. I knocked off the last shield, and with that last thing, he was dead. So, I mean, ultimately, yeah, I got a little sloppy there, but You kind of saw how that was going to play out. Wasn't really much to think about. Basically, I could keep running around and he was going to keep, you know, running over spikes like what Troll Enforcers do. That's about right. So look, we won another battle. That's cool. We get 2 training points. We get another loot. Loot! Utility parts. On your turn, unexhaust any one die. This is a single use. It's strange. The Daelore countryside seems littered with abandoned gearloc technology. So great. All right, so you exhaust it so I can use my frag die, exhaust it, throw this away, and I get my frag die back, which can be really big. So these are the kind of things I want to hold onto as we go. I have 2 more training points. What do I want to possibly get? Well, I know this is coming back in here. These counters stay there. These dice get removed. I'm going to put the frag die back. I do want to try to use a training point on my attack and get myself up 1 more attack. So I rolled 2. I did not roll a bone, so that goes to a 2. And then I'm just going to get my dex up to a 4. I'm going to... So I'm tempted. I can get smokescreen. Body search is super interesting. I mean, what 4 things I want to do right now is I want to get dex up to a 5, smokescreen, body search, and bigger boom is kind of how I want to play this right now. But again, body search I find tough. We do get another day on our thing, so we are at the day 5. Let me do smokescreen, and the smokescreen also uses a grenade, so like it's one of those things. The thing about body search that's rough, again, if you can't use it until an enemy is actually defeated, which with these last 2 battles would have been fine. Day 6 would only be a 5-point baddie and a 1-point baddie if it's only baddie Q. Let me take. I'll put body search in. I'll put body search in. We'll see. We'll see how that goes for me. All right, Dex 4 should get me pretty far, and Attack 3 is super nice. Cool, so I got those. I got my loot. This goes here. What are we doing? We're going to day 6. All right, we need 1 more point there, so before we can choose to challenge him. And the way that works is you would basically pull an encounter and you say, oh, I can do this, or I'm going to choose to challenge the Tyrant. What do we got? Unwanted affection. The day began innocently enough. I encountered a rare Gearloc family living a quiet life at the foot of a hill. Their child had been kidnapped by raiders days ago. Given our scarce population, I immediately set out on a successful rescue mission. Now I'm back and the parents are applying heavy pressure. Our little one will be safer with you than with us. It looks like you could use a companion anyway. You could use... Oh, wait, I'm sorry. What did I forget to do? So we did the recovery. I'm going to get up to full health. Yeah, sorry about that. So we got my rewards and I forgot to do the recovery, which since I only had 4 health, remember I got 4 health. Why? Because of the day 4 encounter. So I wanted to get up to full health there. Great. So looks like you could use a companion anyway. You could use someone to help you scavenge food and water. Truth be told, the raiders paid me to take this little gearloc back. The gold coins they handed me came with a warning that this youngling was unlucky. Yikes! Well, it's a day. Good. So, my skills are my companions. Okay, that's lame, but really no thanks. The father is crushed and berates you for your decision. You feel bad. Reduce your hit point stat die by 1 if possible because you get sick from feeling bad. Or... unlucky, huh? Does that mean it's unlucky to say no? You reluctantly agree, and you and your new buddy prepare to head out. That is until your new best friend trips and drops your pack down the well by accident, of course. You exhaust 3 skill dice at the start of your next battle. Keep this card in your prep area as a reminder. Ugh, that's bad. So I don't want to lose my skill dice. I took that body search die for nothing, it appears. It appears, but that's fine. I'm going to have to exhaust those 3. I exhaust casing, body search, and frag. I could unexhaust a die, but that's a rough thing. So at the end of the day, so I'm going to reduce my health down to 2. So my max health goes down to 5. And that's fine. And then at the end of the day, I still get the rewards at the bottom because it's considered successful. I'm going to get a training point. Do I want to get health back? Is... good question. I do have the I got herbs, which I don't hate. Do I get smoke screen? Do I get bigger boom? Oh, bigger boom. Bigger boom makes me happy. Bigger boom! So again, I couldn't do bigger boom before I did body search. Is one of the reasons I was kind of convinced to do that. So I'm gonna get bigger boom here. Now what does bigger boom do? Bigger boom adds to my frag. So if I have to roll this at the same time, so I roll these 2 dice and then I would add that. Now I don't have to use bigger boom. I have to use frag. Frag costs a boom counter. Bigger boom does not cost a boom counter, right? Because it's part of that. It just that juices up the frag that you're doing. But again, the only thing that cost boom counters are anything in the utility bomber or anything on the grenadier. So these are separate, but I have to roll these together to get the max benefit. My dexterity is only still a 4 though, which is kind of a bummer. But and if I roll those bones, we still got problems. And 1/3 of this is bones. This is really just like +1, +1, +2. You know, they do some things. Yeah, we'll get the bigger boom. So I wanted the dex. I think I need the dex. I don't know if that +1's all that helpful. I'm gonna give myself a dex. Yeah, I got some options. I can use the frag unexhausted. I have the casing. Let me use the frag again. The bigger boom. Dex lets me use 2 attack dice and 2 defense dice. All right, we're gonna get the dex. So I lost the health. Use the training point on a dex instead. So redistributed things. I felt a lot more comfortable doing that because of the got herbs. And now we have 6, so we can take on this dude, right? So we're gonna go to day 7. We have 6 points. What do we get? Well, it's the Tyrant encounter. So we know that that's not what we're looking to do right now, right? That's just bad. So I'm going to say, well, I choose to not do this. There's no good instructions on what to do when you're just choosing to fight the Tyrant. I'm assuming that this just gets discarded, but because it gets shuffled back if you choose option 2, I don't really know. But we're going to choose to ignore this Tyrant encounter, and we're going to fight the Tyrant. And honestly, I guess it's day 7. So if we fail this time, we have to fight him the next time. So I guess it's not that big of a deal either way. So day 7, we're fighting Nom, baby. What's up? So what's going to happen when we fight Nom? Nom gets on the thing. It's the baddie cube, baddie points. Well, party of 1 ignores it. So again, this is one of the drawbacks of true solo play. This is a little bit more nerfed than you might think it should be, but it is what it is. Add Nom goes to the bottom of the battle queue, which is, well, is the battle queue. He's going to go and play into lane 1. He's going to have 6 health. Well, that's not that bad. Oh, no. 6 health, but dude has thick skin 3. Now, we haven't talked about thick skin. It hasn't really come up. Thick skin reduces damage by that much, and it's initiated after defend. So if he has 2 defend and then thick skin 3, I need to get through basically 5 points of protection before I can actually start eating into his damage. Oh, by the way, he also has recover 1. So if he has some wounds, every turn that he goes, that skill is going to trigger, and he's going to get 1 of those health back, right? Rough. We're going to put his die and so clubbing with Nom, he has different abilities too. So only 1 Gearloc on battle mat at a time, not a problem in a true solo game. If you're playing multiple Gearlocks, you'd fight one-on-one, and then when a Gearlock's KO'd, the next guy would enter. And his Tyrant die has 2 different sides. The one side is Thunder Club. That means that after his attack, you knock the target as far away in the mat as you can, and you take 1 true damage, which could be rough. And then the other one is the Omnom. All defense die removed before applying damage. But he's only rolling 1 attack die and only rolling 1 defend die, so he's really not awful. And again, if the defend die is already on him, he won't even roll that. My go. So again, the first time I faced Nom, I knocked him out with 1 roll, and it was freaking awesome. But yeah, not thinking that's in the cards for right now. So you do it in 1 roll, but basically you just need to get 9 damage on him. So it was like 2, 2, 1. I rolled a 3 with the frag, and then I got a backup plan with 1 bones with the defend die I rolled. This, I don't even need to roll my any die. Nom comes on. He's only a 2 on the initiative meter, so I'm going to be ahead of him no matter what. That is fairly certain. So let's make it a 6 because it looks good. And here we go, kids. So I'm going to take my first turn, and I'm not going to try to get at him right away. Now he also has this little symbol over here in the bottom left with the 2 feet. That means that he can move. There's nowhere on the mat I can go that he can't get to in 2. There's not, because there's gonna be nothing blocking him. So he can move diagonal as well as orthogonal, and that's a problem. But he's only attacking with 1 die, and I can take some hits, and I have the I got herbs and all this other goodness. So I'm gonna roll 2 defense die. I'm gonna try to load up my backup plan a little bit, see if I can't get 4 bones on there to get into that territory of, again, doing throw ends, thwacking my target for 3 damage. So I'm going to roll 2 and no, I want to get the casing there too. So I'm going to roll 2, 2. I can roll 3 attack dice. I'm not, obviously. And I'm going to roll the casing die. So here's my 5 decks. Rolling these 5 dice. What do we get? So we got 1 bones. We get 3 casings. I'm going to exhaust this die here. Make this die a 1. Make this die a 2. And then we're automatically at a 2 boom counter. Which, considering utility parts, getting that frag die back could be really nice. This goes here. I attack for 2. Well, he's got thick skin 3, so I effectively did 0 damage. Now I could exhaust that, and I would still do 0 damage. So the backup plan still doesn't help me. Fine. Nom. 1. Did they attack adjacent to? Doesn't matter. He can get to me anywhere he wants. Melee baddies, he can still only attack orthogonally, even if he has the foot. The foot symbol. The feet. So he's going to move 1, 2. He's going to roll all 3 of his dice. So he's got a special die, his little attack die, and his defend die. He rolls. So he thunderstruck me. He puts a shield on him of 1. He gets 1 damage, which removes my shield. But then he thwacks me all the way over there. I take 1 true damage, and we're done with that turn. I'll put his 2 dice there. Great, we go to round 2. On my turn, I'm going to use I got herbs to heal myself 1. And I'm going to roll my 3 attack dice, again, range attack, and my 2 defend dice, and try to gather up some bones here. This is, again, my exhausted die. Bam, put that out of the way. Give myself a little rolling platform here. Actually, I'll move all this out of the way. Come on. Need some space, kids. What do I get? Oh, no bones. Just no bones ever. Why would I roll bones? So we got 2 shields and we got 4 damage, which basically removes this shield. It goes through the. I'm not going to apply any of it. So I can choose to ignore all that attack. Why? Because I don't want his shield to get up to a 2. Right? I'm fine with it being a 1. It is what it is. It would, if I got through his thick skin and that defend, I would actually still do no damage to him, and then he's recover 1 anyway. So there's really no point. I'm really just chasing bones. I'm just not getting there. So his turn, he moves 1, 2. He rolls these 2 dice. What does he get? He gets a bones and a thunderstruck. So my shields stay in place, which isn't great because I'm still going to remove them to roll because I'm trying to roll bones here. Thwacks me over here. I take a true damage. And because of Thunderstruck, and that goes there. We go to round 3. I got herbs again. I get another health back. And I'm going to roll. I'm going to take these 2 defense dice out. I'm rolling these 5 dice. Give me some bones, please. All right, we got 2 bones. I got a shield of 1. And we have 3 attack. Not going to do anything because I'm just going to ignore that attack. This goes here. It's exhausted. It's his turn. He comes back here. We're rolling his 2 dice. Thunder strikes me. So 1 damage. This removes my shield. And then he thunder strikes me here. True damage. That goes away. And we're good. We go to round 4. I'm going to use them. I got herbs all together. So they're out of the game. And get my 1 health back. And I think we wait to the fatigue rounds before I really start messing with him. Because that's at 1 less health. Which could be really helpful. So I'm going to roll. It also puts me in a more dangerous position, but I'm going to roll. I have, again, nothing in the active slots. So I'm going to take my 2 defense and my 3 attack. Good. We get a bones. I want 4 bones. That's all I wanted there. We got 1 shield. I'm attacking 5. That would be a ridiculous roll had I rolled the frag. So I can make it a 6 and do 2 damage to him. He's got the recover 1. There's still really no point, right? It just doesn't make any sense to start trying to, I mean, if I, no, I have those 4 boom counters at 2. Now I'm going to just ignore all that damage and kind of wait 2 more rounds. So he's going to move here. He's thwacking me. What do we get? Oh, that's a defend die. Attack die. He goes 2 damage and he removes my shield ahead of time. Right? So the shield goes away. That's the other result. The nom. And then 2 damage. So I'm down to 3 health. And I don't get thrown across the world, and that's that. So we go to round 5. The question, if I get 2 more damage on me and I start round 5, that's bad. I think I do the frag attack now, so I'm going to do 2. I have 5. Dexterity is 5, so I'm going to roll the frag dice. I'm going to roll 3 attack dice and this 1 shield, and I know I have that to fall back on. And if it's a bad roll, I have utility parts, I can bring this back. So I'm going to target him with all of this. I'm going to use my boom counter down to 1. And we're rolling these 5 dice. What do we get? So I have the 1 shield, which is fine. I have attack of 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to use my backup plan. 7, 8, 9. So the shield comes off. Thick skin defends the next 3, but then I do 5 damage. All right, on my turn, I'm going to use the utility parts and unexhaust the frag die, and we're done. His turn. He's going to recover 1. He's going to roll a defense die, an attack die. What does he get? Bones, 2 shield isn't good. He thwacks me across, and I take 1 true damage from Thunderstruck. All right, we go to round 6. It is a fatigue round, so every round thereafter, we both lose a health. I have 1 health left. He's got 1 health left. His defense doesn't matter there. And then my turn now, I'm going to roll the frag die. My boom counter goes down to 0. I get the 3 attack die, the 1 defend die. I just need to roll a 6 here. So I got a 4. I got 2 bones. So that's an attack of a 7. I'm going to throw bones. That gives me the throw odds. An attack of an 8. The 2 shield, the thick skin. I have plenty of damage to defeat Nom, you ugly troll. Whee! All right, that's that. So yeah, you can really do some gamesmanship in a way that I like. There's some nice. What I talk about with City of Kings, which is like really chessy, and this is like. It takes some of the chessiness of like City and Kings and just puts it in a wackier package and throws in just some more like some really interesting tactical back and forth. Like it's a really cool form. Like the battles are, again, they could be the variety between like one shots on both sides and just like this give and take and health management. These were really good loots for me, and I don't always find the loots that helpful, but I was like, all right, well, once I can unexhaust any one die, you know, I get the frag twice. I had the right amount of boom counters to roll it twice. I didn't roll the bones either time, which is super helpful. If I rolled the bones the last time though, I think I still would have been all right. No, he had the shield too. Oh yeah, that shield too was bad. 3, even if I threw the bones, that would have been tough. So yeah, got lucky. I got lucky that I didn't get unlucky. Yeah, and had I lost that, you know, whew, like, good luck, man. It's because now you're going back on day 8. I'm coming in. I don't have any boom on my boom counter, so I'm gonna have to find somehow scavenge while I'm fighting this dude, get 1 boom and just go all in on like round 6. So yeah, body stir's didn't do much for me. You know, I was hoping to be able to kind of exhibit that mechanic a little bit in that one turn. Just that wasn't. I think there was. I wasn't. Yeah, that was the child thing. Yeah, well, that's when I lost that health point because because I didn't want to take this unlucky child who was going to make me lose my skills, right? So that wasn't happening. So yeah, Nom's cool. Nom's a really good introduction to this. I've played against Mulmish. I've played against Drellin. Definitely looking forward to getting into the longer campaigns with a couple of friends. It's funny. Like I'm solo playthroughs. Most of the time when I learn these games, my first introduction is generally co-op with a friend, and I don't know, like I enjoy like the freshness of a game and having a friend with me to experience it. And that's so a lot of times I try not to play the newer Tyrants until like my friend's free and we can come over and spend 3 hours just goofing around, you know. And that's definitely how I learned Boomer, and that's how I played Tantrum, and I played I don't think I played Picket yet. I think it's the only of the original 4 I haven't played, and looking forward to learning all the names of all the other all the other ones, right? Because there's a ton of them. So we'll get there one day. But just a zany game, and we'll get it back. I'm not sure when the next time I'll be back in Daelore for the channel, but I'm sure it will be at some point soon. Man, I'd love to get some strategy discussions. It's any of these dice that, like, man, I always go, this is how I play Boomer. Like, I'm super curious. One of the things I do love about the guides is I find the guide, what does it say for intro, like what is it, newbies, what do they call it, beginner build strat. I find that helpful. It's been a nice little way to get me going with the various gearlocks. I mean, again, the things that make Boomer a little unique is the idea that you're forced to use, you know, again, you're throwing a bomb, right? It's not like, oh, I don't really want to throw that bomb anymore. The fact that you're stuck with whatever you roll makes her a little swingier. You know, there's some things we never got into the consumables, which is a thing that can really be interesting. The holy hand grenade is something she has that doesn't use a boom counter, but it's another way where you can basically throw a bomb at something. That can become really handy. If I ever get is a loot that kind of gives you consumable dice, if I ever get that, I tend to hold on to that to the Tyrant battle against Nom, at least. I just found that to be a really nice little addition. Would love to. I think the longer scenario is playing around with bigger boom, search for 325. Those are parts of Boomer's mechanics and makeup that I haven't really explored at all. But that's the end. There's no there's no like ending scenario. Sometimes I'm just like, where's the paragraph telling me that I won and I went home and all the other Gearlocks cheered my name forever and Boomer is now the queen of all the Gearlocks. Just like I feel like the story just doesn't have an ending, but you know, that's fine. We clubbed Nom. It was fun. Now look, in a 2-player game, it's bananas because in day 14 you would basically have it's baddie queue. Yeah, you have day counter 7. I'm sorry, so you'd have a baddie queue of 14. So you would get 2 5s and 5 4s, and then you would have Nom on the bottom. So dude wouldn't even come out. That you're basically one at a time trying to take down these goober heads, and then you know you hope you have something left to take down Nom at the end. So I guess if you're doing this one at a time, you know these 4 would start on the battle mat to begin with. So you'd want to have someone that could really limit, you know, what they're doing to kind of knock out, you know, most of them. And then the next person, you know, could kind of come in, hopefully take out the ones. Oh man, some of these dudes are rough. And then take out also, and then, you know, have someone like Boomer come in and throw a grenade and hopefully hit. So that was cool playthrough. Really excited about the comments. Really love to hear people talk more about this game. Still feel like what's less than scratching the surface, right? Like I'm there. I'm just there. And then I got Cloudspire. Man, I got so many games right now that I'm super psyched to be learning and to try to feature on this channel sooner rather than later. It should be a really, really fun summer for solo playthroughs, and hopefully just kind of keep bringing new content. But rest assured, guess what? We'll be back Spirit Island and Maze Night a lot. We got Dawn of the Dead, 2 more levels there that we have to go through. We got tons of stuff to be getting onto this channel in the upcoming weeks that I'm super excited about. No end of content. That hasn't changed. So look, likes, comments, and epiphanies, put them in the comment section below. If you want to see what is coming up in Solo Playthroughs Land, definitely go to my Patreon page. There is a link in the description below where you can go and check out a public post I put at the end of every month telling you what is on the horizon so you can mark your calendars accordingly. Other than that, as always, till next time, happy gaming.